Yo, yo. Man, I gotta move this up a little bit. This shit is way too condensed. Do I really? Damn. I'm so beautiful. I look like everyone's dad at like a fucking cookout. Or like about to go catch some bass. Man. Man. Yes and no. Yes and no, but reversed. Decipher it. Which answer goes where? Yes and no, but reversed. It's a tough world out there. I haven't seen him in a few days, but he's good. Or rather, a week. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Damn, that sucks. I was in that boat about 2 years ago. I know exactly how that fucking feels, and it's awful. Sorry to hear that, man. It is terrible losing family, especially one so close to you. Nobody wants to lose loved one, or nobody wants to lose loved ones ever. You know, for some people, it's just inevitable. Damn, bro, that's him saying like, "I'm still here, bitches. I ain't going nowhere." Yeah, that's something. Funerals fucking blow. They are awful to go to. Not in the sense that they suck, but like, I mean, your whole family's there, man. It's just very sad. But, you know, it's a send-off. Maurice, thank you, bro. No Rainsden raid. Thank God. The last thing I want is a British person raiding me with the name Rainsden. Thank heavens. Thank the heavens. But you know what? When it comes to, like, raids in this side of Twitch, we do get raided by a lot of British people. British people love Warhammer. What primer? I don't even know yet. I haven't painted metal minis in so long, so we're going to find out later down the line when I can get to these. Pretty sure when it comes to painting metal, people like to seal in multiple coats. So, like, they'll prime it, and then they'll, like, seal it, and then paint a little bit, and then seal it again, just to make sure nothing chips. So I'm pretty sure when it comes to painting metal, it is a very... It's more so a layered process than, like, plastic would be, where you just paint a bunch of stuff and then seal it. It's just more so the finishing touches, I suppose, are a bit different. I'll probably end up looking up a few things before I paint these, just to see what everyone tends to do, because a lot of people have made metal minis over the years, and, I mean, a lot of them. Painted a bunch, made a bunch, so they kind of know the process and they know what's best. I, for one, haven't made metal minis in a very long time, so I'm not aware. It's been a while. Because Fantasy died in 2015, and that was, what, 9 years ago? So over 9 years ago is the last time I fucked with a metal mini. With all of the new, or not new, but rather old kits returning, most of them are made in metal again, so you're going to have to kind of learn how to clean up metal and paint metal. Which, yeah, it's most likely kind of the same process as plastic, but a little bit more tedious. Like, for the most part right now with me cleaning this up, I'm using anywhere from, like, 800 to 1,000 grit sandpaper, and then I'm just being a little bit more aggressive with a blade. Whereas on plastic, I could sit there with, like, 1,000 grit sandpaper, a knife, and just get everything done. And also, I guess you could say files as well for this. But certainly when it comes to sanding and doing things on metal minis, you do need to be a little bit more aggressive. And I've got a lot of these things to build, not to mention all the other ones coming up, because this is just like... This is a fraction of the metal minis from old, from like 2003. People recommend a lot of different sets. Well, I mean, it just depends on what you're interested in, is where you'll kind of be pointed to. So, like, futuristic, fantasy, so on and so forth, there's just a bunch of different options. When it comes to buying stuff, I mean, anywhere it's sold. Normally, the way it works is that if you get it directly from Games Workshop, you're paying full retail. But if you buy it from, like, a hobby store, they've got agreements with Games Workshop where they can sell it to you at, like, a 15% discount. So buy it officially for full price or buy it still officially for a 15% discount. Local businesses are pretty good. If you're interested in older stuff, you'd have to go to eBay. Like these Kazad guards still are sold online, although they came out in like 2003. Like GW does produce them still. But stuff like these Dwarf Warriors have been long replaced, so like now you've got plastic versions of them instead of metal. Deathburger made 2 Cyberpunk figurines. I really want to buy them and paint them. I've never done it, though. I've never heard of that. Honestly, if you're new to something, just jump in. Look through like YouTube videos for kind of how to get started and go for it. The hardest part is the first few steps. Once you're through the door, everything is much easier. Hmm. Like when it comes to new things, it can be very tedious. Like you do typically spend a lot of money or search around for like all the tools and whatnot. But like in today's times, you can check through YouTube or blogs or watch people's streams. Like getting started typically with anything today is pretty easy, just as long as you've got the funds, and that's the hardest part, getting the funds. Because the stuff is out there, it's just a matter of buying it, preferably for the best deal, because then you could buy more stuff with the money you've saved. That's the goal. Find things on the cheap so you can buy more things on the cheap. Well, I'll tell you right now, you definitely don't need the most expensive equipment. I'll tell you that right now. I would say the only expensive tool that I found to be very useful is a very expensive pair of clippers, because these things cut like butter. When it comes to a blade, this is like $2 on Amazon. The blades are refillable elsewhere. Like, you know, you know, there's a lot of like shit out there that's pretty gimmicky. Yeah, that's God Hand. I would say this is probably the best investment I've ever made in a pair of clippers. These things do everything. The only problem I found was that it's not flat enough. These are meant to shear like metal, even though I do it for resin and plastic. But I would like it if I could get a pair that kind of look like this. And in comparison, these are about the same price, and these are shit. But I want a blade like that. If God Hand was to ever sell something like this, I would invest in it instantly. So that's what I would do. As like an expensive tool, clippers are always useful. This shit, this is so cheap. But I still prefer handles that have heft. Weighty handles. Like this one's, it's all right. The GW one I also have, but I've had it for years. I really do like this because it's also heavy. Anything light in the hand doesn't feel good. Intimidating glasses. Do I look like an assassin? I look like I'm about to go fucking watch a NASCAR race with a 6-pack. Now, the blade's used for everything. The most universal tool in cleaning up any miniature is a blade. It's a sharp blade and a bit of force. And you're basically set for cleaning most things. Blades will get a lot of this stuff done. Looks like I'm on a Naruto run at you. I hope not. I don't want to be mixed up with that crowd. Those guys are losers. I don't watch no anime. I do's the Warhammer, though. That's a weird bunch. Wait, why'd that guy get banned? Oh, it was a bot? Oh, gotcha. What was he asking for, like, buying views or something? What a weird... I don't know how they get in here, man. I guess they're everywhere. Leave it to the people who work on fucking Warhammer to be hounded for spending more money. Have we not suffered enough? Mochi's not going to be anywhere near this desk. I miss him, though. I haven't seen him in so long. It's been like 2 weeks. I miss the booger. I miss him. I do miss him. Was that another one? Jesus Christ, they're everywhere. They're coming out of the goddamn woodwork like the Thagaraki. They're everywhere. You kill one, 20 of them spawn. Man, I really want to get through these metal minis. I think there's like 8 Khazad Guard. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Khazad Guard, 3 Dwarf Warriors, 3 Dwarf Warriors with bows, Kings and Balin. Well, I'm trying to work on my Old World army at the same time as this, like, nostalgic thing. So, like, right now, realistically, I should be working on my Anvil. My Anvil of Doom. But I just don't have the bases, and so what I'll be doing is just cleaning them up as best as I can, putting them away, and then when I can get my bases, I can actually start, like, working on basing materials and whatnot. I've never tried those, but I know of them. Sometimes they're scams, sometimes they're not. A lot of people do absolutely invest in them. I, for one, have not. If you want new paints, you can. So I'm doing the Anvil with a base because fuck the rulebook, you can suck my ass. The problem with the Anvil without the base is it's so thematically dry, it's boring. I don't necessarily play the game to be gamey. I play it to have a cool-looking army and to have fun. So I'm going to be putting the Anvil, because the way it works without without a base, is they're going to sell you Thoric Ironbrow with the Anvil, with the Forge, and Craggy, and yet the only rule in-game is that this is on the battlefield. Are you really going to be that person? You going to be that gamey to have that little dinky dog shit on the field without the Forge, without the Apprentice, heating up the runes? So for me, I'm putting it on a 100 by 150 millimeter base. It's the same thing as the Necrolith from the Tomb Kings. And that way I can have a diorama. The Anvil will be in front. It'll be in front on a hill. The Anvil guards will be kind of like guarding the hill. And then from the back, there'll be steps leading down to the Forge and then the Apprentice. And I'm not going to use Craggy. I won't use Thoric. At the time, I don't even think Craggy would be alive. Maybe, but very, very young, even though he's already young. Thoric would be there, but I think what I'm going to do is just make more of a generic, like, Rune Lord. Weird little hobbies like this. I collect plastic Gundam. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just a different form of nerd hobby, I guess. Okay, I have to go for 2 seconds. I will be right back. Dressed up today. Yeah, I gotta scrape some metal. All right, BRB. All right. Ooh. We're here. Where is this? Where is this? Lovely. Okay. I think I'm just going to work on probably the anvil now, considering the dwarf pre-order should be... The dwarf preview pre-order should be 1, 2, 3, 4 days away. 4 days from now, and we are back in business. It has been many moons since we thought the pre-orders would come, and they never did, because the world is cruel, and Games Workshop wishes depression upon us all. Probably more so for certain races, like the Empire never going to be seeing the light of day until, like, next year. Skaven. Much more. So who knows? All right. Oops. Oopsies. I'm about to cook. Warhammer meth. I'm Walter Fat. Oops. Hang on. This should be... These masks are so fucking garbage. Like, this is supposed to go under it, but it works. Good? Very good. Alrighty. You know what? Man, I'm gonna have to clean up all of this with, like, putty. Finecast is super ass sometimes. No, I drink a shit ton of water. I probably drink too much water. Like, when I'm streaming, for some reason, I don't as much, and I've got a full bottle next to me, but, like, when I have dinner, I have, like, 2 to 3 bottles of water. I crave the water. It's so delicious. I crave the water. Moisture content of peanuts. Yeah. My nose is itchy. Is this a viable tactic for itchy nose? Yo, yo. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. I should probably put a list of things I want to get done on this stream just so I can remind myself to keep working. Because sometimes you lose touch of what you wanna do. And you start different things when you shouldn't, when you should try and finish what you've already started. I think that happens to a lot of people, but you know. Yep, exactly. You need to put it somewhere to get shit done. Because, like, if you bounce around through projects, which is what I'm doing right now, but to be fair, I physically can't complete one of them because I don't have bases. Um, it's kind of an issue. Like, I know for this army in particular, I need to build another gyrocopter. I need to build rangers. I don't really know what I want for, like, core infantry, but rangers for sure are going to be slotted in there somewhere. They're not core, but... Converting the rangers should be fun. I got to work on how to make certain things. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, you want to see these things finished, but you have so many other things to work on that it's just not... It's not good. Write them down. Writing your ideas down is great, too. I know. Well, right now, well, there's no way I can paint anything currently. And you know what's crazy is I've painted more. I've painted on stream. I did like 2 to 3 streams of painting. But since then, I haven't even been able to situate myself here long enough to finish anything, so I've decided against it. It's easier to clean something and come back to cleaning it than it is to paint something and then have to come back to paint the rest of it. It's better to kind of paint things in one go. And the only time I've got time for that right now is after July. This hobby is very tedious. It takes a very long time for someone to finish something if they're really thorough, which unfortunately I am. Because God knows the last thing I'm going to do is spend thousands of dollars and haphazardly glue it and paint it. If this shit's got to be done, it's got to look good. I don't want no half-assed, mucked up mess. But that's just me. Not bad. When it comes to the metal version of this forge, it's most definitely a nightmare, considering you can't scrape stuff away as easily as you would with like resin. Because most things back in the day were made of metal, and so all of this like not working shit would be impossible to get into. So unironically, I'm kind of glad they made this thing in resin, even if the sculpt needs to be like really cleaned up and bubbles have to be filled and issues taken care of if you actually give a shit about taking care of them, which most people don't, and that's great. I wish I could live that free. I wish. I wish in a world we weren't such perfectionists with brain damage, thinking everything has to be precise. It's not normal. The paint job is 75% of the battle. All right, this side's good enough for now. Good enough. Pretty sure the bellows was so bad. Yeah, this thing's got problems. Hmm. Oh, yes, delicious resin. I should take the mask off and just take a giant whiff. Well, I mean, for the most part, when it comes to, like, conversions and whatnot, things can be really seamless. And even then, no one scrutinizes what you've done in, like, great detail unless it's at, like, a competition. So only kind of you know about it, right? Which I think for me, when it comes to making things, that's my biggest problem. Because I'm making it for me. And if I know about something that I don't like, I'll re-look at that thing over and over again when looking at the mini. So happy I found the channel 2 years ago. It's a blast to watch your videos. Thank you. Ain't no problem, man. Yes, the fabled YouTube videos. The once-a-year videos, yes. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Yeah, I don't know about that. I got out of that nonsense. The 3D resin printing, like, crack den. I was working out of my kitchen with that stuff, and it was not the best place to be, I'll tell you. I do not enjoy resin printing. I think I will leave that for the professionals and their big $1,000 machines in their warehouses. I do own a 3D printer, yeah. I'll make sure to huff aerosol before painting to build up immunity. Is that really a thing? Yeah. That sounds legit, man. Bold strategies for bold individuals. Lovely. I'm a chemist, so it's usual stuff for me. Yeah. I mean, shit like that, I hated it. The process, the 3D printing process is the worst, but the outcome is excellent. That's my biggest problem. I love what you can make with it, but I hate making it, you know? That to me is the issue. I love what can be done, but what can be done sometimes is not worth it. Yeah, I haven't used it, but I do know of some. And to be honest, I mean, I guess in some instances they've gotten it wrong, but you know, resin printing isn't that expensive. It's more so, I would say, the process. The process is expensive. That shit sucks. Is that really it? Used to watch your GB videos religiously, then stumbled upon this stream while painting my orc boys. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I still do League. This is just kind of a second channel gig. This is the, me enjoying my childhood memories time, but also liking the hobby. You know, it's good to reminisce. Still good to keep up with the hobby after all these years. I'm not complaining. I'm full of microplastics and coating. Wear a mask. If you live longer, you can do Warhammer longer. It's worth it. You learn as you go. You know, you can get really small resin printers that are probably worth your time. Like, I'm talking 100, 200 bucks. And you can print tiny bits that you've sculpted in, like, Blender or whatever. Which I think, to me, is where I'm at that right now. Or that's where I'm at right now, I should say. I can't speak for some reason. So, it is good. It's just, again, the process blows ass. Green stuff, traditionally, this was all made out of green stuff. This was all hand sculpted back in the day. So all of this stuff, all of this detailing and whatnot, hand sculpted. If they can do it, you can do it. All of these minis, hand sculpted, which, I mean, that's very impressive, but, you know, that is true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of Warhammer for me was always a hands-on thing. I prefer hands-on hobbying. I'm not opposed to 3D printing because I know what it's capable of, and I've literally sculpted and printed my own bits, so I know exactly what it's like. I have to go to the store. Nobody do anything dumb until I come back. I mean, I'm just gonna sit here and keep sculpting or keep scraping. This makes me want to print some dwarves and get painting. Do it, man. If you got a printer, it takes 2 seconds, as in it takes 10 hours. Yeah, sculpting is fun though. You know, it's not easy, but if you can do it, it's awesome. The world is yours. You can just create whatever you want. That's the beauty of being a human. Having certain skills in certain hobbies allows you to just be as creative as you want. Sculpting is one of them. If you can be a very good sculptor when you do this hobby, it's absolutely liberating. Do anything you want. Yep, we're here for a little bit. How much do you know about Warhammer 40k? Because I want to get into it. I used to play 40k a bunch. I mean, if you want to get into the hobby or like the lore. Because I think for the most part, if you get into one, you get into both. Like, you don't just say, I want to do the hobby, and then you never read anything on the lore. It's like, you do both, man. That's usually how that works. One thing leads to another, and you're like more ingrained than ever. Lore? Oh, for lore, I can't give you too much. I am not a 40k lore fanatic. Maybe at one point growing up, I would read a bunch of it because I have been in the hobby 40k and fantasy wise for again like 20 years off and on. But it's uh it's pretty big. And currently what's going on in 40k, I know nothing about. I don't read 40k books. I don't keep up with current 40k lore. The last bit of lore I had ever read was the Votan Codex, and even then, it's not full of much. But yeah, I mean, with sculpting and everything, it just takes a bit of time. You know, give it a bit of effort and patience, and it'll be good. Patience is the biggest thing when it comes to this hobby. And also be willing to learn. Humble yourself. This isn't League of Legends. You don't need to be the best. Humble yourself. I'm operating on these bellows. If you were in trouble and you came to me, I could save your life. It's true. Human anatomy is exactly like a Warhammer mini. I had to recarve in the wood grain. because this thing has so many, like, flat surfaces that are mucked up by, like, the casting that it's lost a lot of the detail. Can't necessarily see it, but everything became a little too soft. So you just kind of go in and whittle away, and you re-sculpt the detail. And it's fixed. And then, of course, you got to bend this back into position with, like, hot water, but not bad. So far, so good. The lovely Anvil of Doom. Soon to be retailing for probably about $100, unfortunately. You talking about the bricky ones? Are you going to check out the Acolyte? Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not really a big fan of Jedi, but new Star Wars content from Disney. Oh, man, I gotta watch it. Yay. Disney. We love Disney. I'm a Disney adult. When is the Acolyte supposed to come out? What day? What year? Isn't it this year? June 5th. Oh, God, really soon, eh? Yeah, we'll give it a watch. I've got Disney Plus. I am very consumed with other things, but I will make time to sit down and watch it. Tales of the Empire. I don't think I even watched that. Yeah, later tonight there will be. I don't think I've seen Tales of the Empire. Wasn't that an animated one? Pretty sure it was, no? Clone Wars style? Don't watch it. It's not worth it. I mean, I wasn't planning on it, not gonna lie. So I think we're good. I think we are Gucci. All I want to do right now is play League and do Warhammer. Barris and Elspeth. Thrawn was cool, but it's not like... Oh, gotcha, okay. Yeah, I mean, the Empire stuff, not as appealing for me, but that's cool. They are the big baddies. Soon enough, you're going to get movies again. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, like they're in the works. So I think that's what I'm more inclined to like, or maybe not like, considering most things made these days aren't as fun. But who knows? Maybe I'll like them, maybe I won't. Oh boy, we're going to have to fill some gaps with Milliput. Lots of gaps. And even convert some of this stuff. Many, many, many gaps. Yeah, well, I mean, tying up loose ends, the problem is that Disney likes to put things into other shows to get other people to watch every show. So one show leads into another, and because of that, they're like, okay, well, watch this one now. Why? Because you have to, or else you won't know what goes on. Like, Book of Boba Fett was just garbage. Mando Season 3 was just garbage. Some things just don't stick. Others do, and it's just the writing. Because again, you've got really good characters, really good ideas, but like it's the way everything is written and choreographed and all that crap, it just falls really, really short. You've got all these serious characters running around like fucking clowns at a circus with the most illogical shit going on around them. I think the best way to describe Disney Star Wars as of late is it's just brain dead viewing. It's like they treat the audience as if we're stupid. I think for me, that's the best way to describe it. Like some shows, Andor being one of them, no one complains about Andor. Did you see what George R. R. Martin said about that? What did he say? I have no idea. What are you talking about, bro? Andor's amazing. Andor is excellent. The problem with Mando season 1 and 2 were really, really good, and then when season 3 came around, it was just terrible. Pretty much what you just said. He said the movies and TV series writers think they know better than the original writers when making shows based on books. Well, I mean, they take stuff and twist it to their new, you know, I guess their style to fit whatever mold they want to work in. But for me, I mean, I'm not really big on the old books. I'm not going to lie. Like the expanded universe and all that stuff for Star Wars, not necessarily my thing. But I think as an avid viewer and enjoyer of Star Wars, the problem just lies in it's Disney. And Disney is obviously very kid friendly. And so when you make a series with Star Wars, who, initially, yeah, okay, it's for kids, but there was adult themes and things going on. You can't make the show, or rather series, like certain aspects of it just aren't believable. Certain fight scenes, certain reasons as to do, whatever the guy's doing in the show, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you want me to believe anything that's going on screen, at least make it make sense. I think Mando Season 3 was like the biggest egregious thing of all when it came to that in terms of a show being very, very good and then very, very bad. Is that Mando Season 1 and 2 were actually legit and it did take itself seriously. And then when it came around to Season 3, it was just a fucking joke. Like, the most brain dead shit was happening every episode. But, people do like it, and that's cool. Everyone's different, and you like what you like. Yeah, don't watch Season 3. It's fucking stupid. It's actually just a circus, and everyone's lost. And nothing makes sense, so when you watch it, you're like, wait, shouldn't it be the other way? Shouldn't they be dead? How is he alive? Anyways. I don't want to sound so negative, but some things are really stupid. And definitely need a little bit of a refresh, As the great Tolkien said, evil cannot create, only replicate. Well, Tolkien wasn't the best human being, from what I've gathered, but, he did write some good shit. Or was that Lovecraft? Leave the writer brain rot behind and enjoy Warhammer. Well, it was Jack Black and Lizzo. They were in one of the episodes, and Christopher Lloyd, which was cool. If you know Christopher Lloyd. And they also had one of those crackheads from he's Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. Or is that, sorry, Michael J. Fox. Is that him? Who's the better half of well, not better half, but who's is it Michael J. Fox? I think it is. But they even had the one of the crackheads from Breaking Bad. You know those two like goofy idiots? I think it was Skunk and Buster or some shit. If you know their names, that's not it, but like it's something like that. Well, it's because my hands are dry. I have not seen Breaking Bad in so long, but it was one of those guys. Bill Burr and Mando was... Bill Burr was cool. Yeah, he was actually fun. He said he hated Star Wars or that he didn't understand it, but like... He was great. Very fun. That was a whole like really fun episode though. That was fun. It wasn't just he didn't understand it. His old stand-up, he used to rip on Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars fans, me one of them, you know. Yeah, they're nerds. I mean, Warhammer fans, same thing. Any like fantasy IP, futuristic thing. People are passionate about shit that isn't even real. Which I wish real things were as cool as made up stuff. That's all I can say. If it was cool, I'd care more about it. $200 US on my Ren Fair costume this year. Oh yeah, for sure. That's cool. I mean, people do like LARPing and doing different things. You know, it's a hobby in itself. Enjoy it. Have fun. It's not for everybody, but like it doesn't have to be. When it comes to nerdy hobbies, it's very easy to get carried away. If you've got the dedication and the funds and the passion, there is a lot of stuff out there. Lots of stuff out there. The crackhead was me. It was the two, God, I forgot their names. Genuinely, I don't know their names anymore, but they were, one of them was in Breaking... Well, both of them were in Breaking Bad, and then one of them was a Mandalorian in Season 3 of The Mando. Or Season 3 of Mando. So who knows? Congratulations. On what? I've heard about your situation and no longer hemorrhoids. Really? Damn. My alternate timeline. Hemorrhoid bias fate. Get the hemorrhoids. Man, you could really whittle away at this shit for ages. I could sit here for years doing this, although that wouldn't be very fun. I want to finish. I want to build Anvil of Doom. I want to destroy hemorrhoids in alternate timeline. Just Rune of Wrath and ruin them. And they're gonzo. It was Skinny Pete and Badger. So Skinny Pete was in Mando, wasn't Badger. Skinny Pete was like one of the head Mandalorians in Season 3 who was stuck on Mandalore. He rode around on like this giant barge on the planet's surface. Yep, those guys. Jesus, man. You won't even see this bit because it's going to sit under the anvil, but I know it's there. And I know this thing's fingers need to be cleaned. There are many, many a problem. Many grudges against this fine casts. It is not very good. I'm pretty sure this album has replayed like 3 times now or something. Or maybe I'm delusional. Can we get Fintroll actually would be cool. Boom, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. They are, though. And then they're going to banish me for not getting it right. I mean, to be fair, though, I've always been this way with minis. Like, again, if I've spent hundreds of dollars on something, I want it to be the best it can. It's more so personal, you know. I want it to look as good as it can look. And to be fair, the anvil for the old world is basically the centerpiece. There's nothing bigger than the anvil currently for the dwarves. Which, cool centerpiece, but it's not no, like, dragon. And for when I get the diorama together, it'll look really good. Yeah. Well, that's maybe one of the reasons why I like dwarves. Did they really? I mean, that sounds about right, yeah. Don't get lost late at night, or you're gonna be in for a fright. Silent Hill was cool. I never fucked with the games, but the movies, which obviously spawned from the games. So creepy. They were decent. They were all right. I liked them. Again, I can't compare them to the games because I never play the games, but hmm. This kind of slants down. GB Kibash for Warhammer, whether he should be a human or a dwarf. I'd make him a human. I mean, if you want to make him a different species altogether, you could do that, but I think it'd be pretty dope as like a human. Personally. Make him an Umgi. Oh. Hmm. Fireslayer bits and maybe Votan. Would this be like a 40k thing? Age of Sigmar thing? Fantasy? Oh. Fire Slayer bits, though? What would you make out of Fire Slayer bits? I don't really know anything out of the Fire Slayer kits that I would use personally. Torso for classic GP. Oh, like a belly? A big pot belly? Pretty sure they've got, like... You could try the, you know what? You can make it out of the Empire... It was like a Blood Bowl team. The Baronhofen something something. It's like the nobility. There's a big dude there with a belly. You've got bellies with some of the new Cities of Sigmar stuff. Fat people do exist. You're watching one right now, so... Yeah, I do. It's just very slowly. Right now, the game plan isn't to paint, it's to clean. I will paint once my 2,000 point army is made. It may take a little bit of time, but I do things in stages, and I'd rather kind of get as much done as I can. Bit too chunky. I'm new to this stuff. Yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of new people getting into the hobby. It's been around for a while, but not everyone's heard of it. So that's cool. You doing like 40K, Age of Sigmar? It's honest. Yeah, I would say it's not. I mean, you can chop them down. Either way, though, there's so much you could do with that stuff. So much. I mean, even for some of my shit, I gotta go after, like, Bretonian bits. I need ye old Bretonian bits. Holy smokes. I basically had to reshape all of this side. It's not even done yet, but there was a giant chunk of like flat resin sitting in here, and even with the fingers, like it's a little lopsided looking, but even these sculpts aren't perfect. Um, you really got to work at them. Like, you got to kind of like recarve detail that isn't there anymore. All you're really doing is trying to like mirror the other side, so it's not bad at all. It's very easy to do. The beauty of resin. Just flakes super easily. Melt my toys together. Yikes, that's good for the lungs. Just melt a bunch of plastic, huff it up. Sounds like the sounds like Sid from Toy Story. Yeah, these are dwarves. The brave Dowie. My dad was a welder, so he was very adamant about PPE. Oh yeah, for sure. It's good to know about that stuff early on. Absolutely. Dirty pirate jokes. Would he really? Mine didn't... I didn't hear anything from mine. Your dad's more of a pirate than mine is. My dad showed up, nutted, left. And then I'm his son. Wellers don't have the longest life expectancy for that reason. Yeah. That sucks. You know, you do want to wear this stuff if you're working with anything shitty. Somebody's got to do it, so you might as well do it properly. It's good, though. It's very good. Yeah, I think we've successfully, for the most part, reshaped all of this detail. Kind of, not really. Let me just stare. It's kind of like blown out with the light. You can kind of see, like, there's a few... All of this basically had to be, like, pushed back in, and it's not even done. Oh, I know where I gotta put a groove here. Well, this is not... I mean, this is just like they call them ancestor faces. They're supposed to be based on, like, the dwarven gods. You know? They always like their ties back to the ones of old, who kind of shaped them into who they are today. Revere your ancestors. You can't go wrong. Honor those who came before you. I think I'll be fired. Is that because you're too busy watching Twitch and not in the coal mines? If I was your foreman, you'd be done. Get back there and get the shoveling. There. It's kind of hard to see, but I was able to scrape in a lot of the detail. What is this? The thumb. The thumb needs to be cleaned up. A Zoolander? Yeah. Let me push this back, actually, now. I'm a terrible developer. What are you developing? Yeah. I mean, for resonance stuff, I do, but otherwise, I'm just like, whatever. I would say for resin, it's worth it. Parking system, I do the equipamentals codes. That's very interesting. I've never heard of that. That's different. I have never heard of that in my life. That's cool. Well, I'm sorry, it's kind of not working out. I have nothing to add to that field at all. I know nothing about anything that has to do with that. Holy shit. It's taking a long time. This one little portion that you're probably never going to see. If the anvil is like this. Oh, yeah, baby, you barely see it. It sits like that. And then you take the anvil, and the anvil sits like this. Or is it this way? It's this way. And then you have your rune lord sitting up here, hammering away. And typically his leg is going to be down in this spot, so you won't even see what I just did for like an hour. No, I didn't. To be fair, I carved out all of this detail to match over here. That's about it. Just because, like, when it was casted, all of this detail was gone. It was just one giant chunk of resin. And so, since this is kind of like a mirrored image, I had to cut all of this down. I had to, like, shape this out. I had to shape all of these notches. I had to basically just replicate what's on this side on this side. So it's mirrored for the most part. Yeah, something. Took like 30 minutes, but, you know, you do stuff like that sometimes. Holy fuck, I need a breather. Get this shit off my face! Ooh, get this off. Oh. I can breathe the resin dust now. Great. Holy. Yeah, that hurts. I have to go vacuum all this up. Which, right now, my vacuum has a spider in it, so... yeah. I think we're going to call it for the anvil for now, because this is going to take a few days to whittle away at. Not to mention, I'm leaving soon, and I won't be back until July 1st-ish. The final week of June, we're going to be here. I still don't want to end because I want to do more stuff. I'm not finished with this, and I want to actually finish this army. So let me go figure out my vacuum very quickly, and then I'll be right back. I'll probably just scrape away at some Khazad guard or something. If I give you a huge, enormous, massive block of resin, you could literally do that from 3D printing, and you don't need to whittle about it. You can just kind of sculpt it. Be right back. Well, I mean, would Mochi crawl on the ceiling like a spider to eat it? Because that thing was up there. Be right back, folks. All right. Oh, the vacuum's dead. No! Can you see the spider? It's in here. I don't see anything. Yeah, I've got a vacuum, but it's not. Cool. All right. All done. Holy smokes. Enough of that. Giant Australian spider in a vacuum? Yeah, I've seen that before, too. That was a fucked up clip. That's like straight from Satan. That is not fun. Australia is a demonic playground. Too many things that could kill me, could kill everyone. Okay, good enough. All right. Back to Khazad, or I can figure out what I really want in my army and try and pursue that instead of scraping nostalgia, which would be awesome to paint, but like right now, tips. Why am I so handsome? Am I really? I don't know if I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I think I want Anvil of Doom. I 100% want Anvil of Doom. I want Iron Drakes with Troll Hammers. I want Gyros. I need a BSB, so Thane with BSB. I want Lord on Shield Bearers. Rangers are always nice. Yes, you are, Dad. Thank you, son. Thank you, adopted son I've never met. Organ Gun, I think I'm just going to give up on. Thane with a BSB. 40 warriors. Well, this would be 2 blocks of 20. Like, the gyrocopter for sure. I need to build another one. I want 2. Iron Drakes need to be done. Anvil of Doom is being done. Thane with a BSB could be pretty easy to tackle. Just depending on what model I want to use for the BSB, unless I want to make my own. It'd be cool to use the Forge World banner. I don't know for basic troops, though. I genuinely have no idea. It's like the basic Dwarf Warrior can kind of just sit there and do the best he can, but it's not really... It's not the best. Like, Hammerers would be cool with the Lord on Shield Bearers. Longbeards in that would be great. I think for the most part, though, these are like the safest things to build. Because the Rangers are always useful. Shield Bearer Lord, always useful. Gyros, always useful. Thane with BSB, always useful. Anvil of Doom, for me personally, will be very useful. Can sub-badges get dwarf gear? I think that's what we're supposed to be doing eventually. Something along those lines, yeah. That's cool. Thane with a BSB. How do I want to do that? I'm tempted to make like a plastic one. Points limit system, buy system. Well, yeah, I mean, even this game does. Old World, Warhammer Fantasy. This is Old World, so it's not 40k per se, but like it's the same thing. You're spending points. I don't know what to start with. I could literally just build another gyrocopter, which I might do because it's a safe bet, having 2 of them in an army. Very safe bet. I just have to go see if I have another one. Thane with a BSB, though. Let me see. 2 out of the 3 upcoming Total War games. Star Wars and Warhammer 40k. Yep. Supposedly World War as well. World War. So here is the resin. Take a look at the BSB at least. I know it's broken. The banner is, I think, both broken. Yep. Nothing wrong with a redo. Thankfully, this is coming back as a kit. And I don't really mind converting certain things. So everything's snapped on the banner. Interesting. Literally everything snapped. I guess I'll be picking up a redo on this one. I'm not going to lie. Although it does look really good. That looks like a BSB. These were supposed to be connected without pinning. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I could, knowing that this is broken, what I would do is probably not even try to pin it. I'd just convert it into something else. And then when it comes back again, I'll just purchase it and pray it's not broken. And then actually turn it into the BSB. Like, I don't plan on using this. Like, you would have to pin it, and then you'd also have to go in and, like, reheat it up. It's cool, but, like, I want to make my own, you know? That's essentially what it would look like. And then the other side has the same thing. Which was there. Now it's broken. Or, you know what? Is this a second style? So you can actually... You could take it with the charms... Or you can just take it with, like, the horn. Or the tipped end. Right? Like, these two are without charms. And if it is a BSB, it's, like, the most important banner. Oh, my God. What does that say? Oh, it's Tyler 1. Oh, no. It's Tyler 1's map cover for, like, 10 years straight. Sneaky dwarves. Why not make the figures 1-to-1 scale? You could salvage this completely. I mean, all these other characters are perfectly fine as well. They call this the Slayer of Legend in the new book, and it's just like a Dragon Slayer. The sculpt is very much different. I would say I would never field these. I'd rather put them in like a diorama. They look amazing, but they don't blend in because they're different sculpts. So like this is a GW sculpt. This is also a GW sculpt. You see what I mean? Pretty sure, God, I don't want to pronounce his last name wrong. Darren Latham? It's a guy who works for GW. He's like the head sculptor right now or something like that. He painted up this guy. Oh, it looks amazing. But it is very much high-definition dwarves, right? If this is like 240p, this is like 4K. The sculpt is amazing, but it's like turbo detailed compared to this. Super detailed. The banner's good, though, for sure. I mean, even this guy, this was supposed to be the Thane with the BSB, which the sculpt is amazing. It's so cool. He's got his pipe weed, big old axe, fur cloak, which is like stuck on this boar motif thing. That's cool. These just look really, really good, but I think they look too good for where I want them. Genuinely. I could go make a green stuff mold cast of the BSB in that plastic kit. Could do that. Regardless, though, I do need a BSB. And I want to make it unique. I don't want to make it something that's, like, generic. Here are many duplicates of BSBs. Standard BSB that came in like the 2-pack. There were also 2 other BSBs that came in through not mail order, sorry. It was one was a Skulls promo, the other one was from a army box. You know what's interesting? There was actually a mail-ordered Dwarf Lord that I only remembered recently because I was looking through my bits. He's still available online if you can find him. Fuck, where did he even go? There's too many characters. Hakuna Matata, thank you, buddy. Give me 1 sec, I'm still trying to look for stuff. Thanks, man. 1 sec. Hold up. I gotta get greasy. I gotta get greasy. Snorri Nosebiter. Snorri, my beloved. Here. I am trying to find very specific things that I cannot find right now. Holy shit. It's the Age of Sigmar Anvil conversion, which is so cool. Maybe I'll go back to it. There is not. There he is. Cool. Found one of them. Also, another gyrocopter. What a mess. What a mess. What a shame. Alright. Oh shit, where's that lord though? Oh shit. Sweet. I actually have a rune lord. I didn't realize. I just found him. I need him. Yes. More shit. Okay. We found a couple of things. What did I find? A gyrocopter, which I need to build. Great. I found another Rune Smith, Rune Lord that I was going to throw at the anvil. Good. I found all of the BSB variants that have ever been released, outside of the unreleased one. Which, this is actually... Okay, this guy can go away. So when it comes to actual, like, released BSBs, or things you could use for BSBs, there were 2 variants of the Army Box BSB. So essentially, it's the same exact sculpt. Same thing. And one of the toppers came from, I believe, Skulls. The Skulls promotional thing back in the day where you'd get, like, points and then you'd send it in and you'd essentially, with your points, buy things from Games Workshop, things that weren't readily available. So this was the Skulls topper for the banner, the BSB. And then this was the readily available one from the Army Box. So what they changed... Oops. They just added, like, more ancestor faces on the wings. They changed the runes in the book. They did a few more things on the bottom. But essentially, it's the same thing. It's just they made it different. It's like a variant. So that was one of them. And the other BSB came from a 2-pack, which was a Dwarf Lord / Thane on a... It was a Lord / Thane on an Oathstone. And he had a very interesting bit of sprue. But I'm still missing... there was one of them in here. I just can't find him now. So this was him. Big old metal Oathstone. He came with a winged helmet. You could actually put wings on him. This is most likely coming back and made to order. It was essentially the command sprue for dwarves, whereas most races in fantasy ended up getting plastic ones. The dwarves, because the plastic one was never released, they got a metal one, and it only contained 2 characters that were essentially monopose. So his shield would go like this, hammer up like this. I actually... This was the other one. Sorry, this was the box for them. So this is essentially what they'd look like when they were painted. This guy would later come out in a single blister as a fine cast BSB, but this guy I don't think was ever released in resin. But this is a cool sculpt. This is a sculpt nobody uses. But it was essentially your command box. Dwarf Lord and Standard Bearer. Every race had plastic versions. Very cool. War Troll. If not, I recommend them. Do they sound like Fin Troll? Because any name with the troll in it is probably similar. Thanes are like paladins for dwarves. Well, the Thanes are in lore. They essentially lead the clans to battle. They rally everyone, all the families. They deal with mustering up the forces, calling forth the throngs. You know? They're your second in command to the king. BSB always look weird. This guy? Yeah, maybe it's the helmet. My monitor just went black. Oh. I think it's the helmet. Or maybe it is the face, whereas, like, the beard doesn't go... Like, there's just too much skin showing, maybe. Oh my god, he's got the hammer of Karak Draz. Clearly. Cool. Feels a bit weird. Yeah. I mean, it's a different sculpt. I think for the most part, when it comes to BSBs, people use these. This is like universally the most used BSB for the Dwarven miniatures. I'm not going to use it, though, just because it's too generic, I think, for my tastes. Like, I've got a few of them. And although it does look really nice, the design specifically doesn't necessarily fit between, like, anything. Because I believe this was sculpted around the same time when they were doing, like, the hammers and the long beards and stuff like that. It's got the same design of helmet and everything, so I'm not surprised if it wasn't sculpted by the same guy who did those, which they're great, but I think if you want something more akin to, like, plastic dwarf stuff, it'd be probably this guy. This guy's a bit more squat. Looks a little bit more in line with, like, the Dwarf Warriors a bit. Anyways, show and tell's over. I still cannot find the fucking Dwarf Lord that I've been looking for a little bit. It was a one-off blister pack Dwarf Lord. And he was smoking a pipe. I wish I could find him, because he was a cool sculpt. Gangplank cosplay when? Yeah. One day. Holy shit, it's Queen Helgar. Jesus Christ. What are those sharp titties? Torpedo. Yeah. Is that it? Nope. I gotta finish these. They're so great. We've got Snorri. I really wish they made a widely available Snorri Nosebiter miniature, because Snorri is so fucking awesome in the books. He's like one of the few people who are actually cheerful and having fun. This guy was made for the Black Library diorama of all of them from the Gotrek and Felix books. So he's like, I think 30% bigger than your average fantasy miniature, but in lore, Snorri's supposed to be really big anyways, so like it works out perfectly. I mean, he's a big dwarf. Maybe it's not perfect, but like it could have been reduced by like 10% maybe, and it would be lore accurate. One day I will build Snorri, and he will go with my Slayers. Oh yeah, for sure. Black Sword, yo buddy. Yes, sir. Did you, hey, Quinn, did you want to see the Doom Seekers? Now that I've got them out. I can show you Garagrim. Gift me the Ari skin. Show him. Well, I've got a few things painted, but... Give me a sec. Oh, this guy's... The only things painted I've got on my desk That's it. I've only painted 2 things in a few years because I've been not at this location. Yeah. Well, I plan on getting back into painting. It's just right now I'm more so mustering up my army. So the Doom Seekers, I believe there was 4 separate sculpts. Garagrim. Canadian, thank you, man. My work is not the best. I mean, you start somewhere, man. Post them in the Discord. Honestly, post them there. It's all good. So here was Garagrim. You can't really see him because he's blown the fuck out from, like, the light. But there he is. His pose is so sick. He's kind of like mid-jump. Supposed to be over this, like, beaten up. Looks like a Chaos Warrior. But, like, yeah, it's actually a Chaos Warrior. Yeah. Kind of hard to see the sculpt, but, I mean, if you've seen Garagrim painted, he's pretty fucking ugly. In a good way. So there's Garagrim. And then the Doom Seekers. The Doom Seeker sculpts are a little bit funky. I do believe there's 4 of them. No, there is 4. Yeah, there's 4 sculpts. So, I mean, some of them are really weird. Like, to me, this looks like a recast. I'm not going to lie. This one actually legitimately looks like a recast. Oh, yeah, that's a recast. Or maybe not. Actually, yeah, it's a fucking recast. Or maybe I'm wrong, but, like, it's really bad. Look how thin his face is, dude. No way. Actually, you know what? This is an original. Some of these, I don't know, man. I've had them for so long. Either they're legit or they're from somebody. I can't remember. It's been so long. This doesn't look... To me, this doesn't look right. To me, this one looks more legit, even though his head is smushed. Maybe that's legit, just how the sculpt came. Yeah, it's a pretty ugly... Like, this Slayer's already dead. Like, just lay him down. His head's been smashed by a troll. Yeah, these do look like recasts, honestly. The tabs look so garbage. I don't know. It looks like they've been re-glued. This is legit, for sure. This one. They're very odd-looking. Like, they've got bells and whistles hanging from them. This guy's got a book, like, nailed to his back with chains. It was said that the Doom Seekers were always kind of, like, even more outlandish than Slayers. Absolutely insane individuals. So that would make sense. This one looks legit. I can't even tell, man. Doom Seekers have been out of commission for so long. I'd like to see the ones GW puts out. Yeah. See if you can spot the guy with the mushed face. Because that is awful. I don't even know what to say. Like, this one is a real sculpt, in my opinion. This is actually from GW. This, to me, does not look legit at all. Doom Seekers. Doesn't look as bad. My monitor is, like, fucking up royally right now. Some of these old sculpts were very... Like, this for sure is legit. This is a real casted thing back in the day. And his head is just mushed. Like, looking at it sideways, you would never know. Could be that it cooled too fast, causing the metal to contract. I don't know. Could be anything. This was Grim Ironjaw. It's like the Blood Bowl named character. who just looks like an absolute unit, you could throw him into a Slayer unit and be awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's that one. It is that video. Fuck is this garbage? Yeah. You said about 31 seconds. It literally shows his face head on. It actually does. Okay, we've assumed this one is a recast, I'm thinking. This one's not. You know what? Maybe it was just the time that it was cast at, but like this right here, this is legit. You know what? His face is going to be smushed. No, this is exactly how you're going to get it. You can't fix molds like this. Once it's done, it's done. This is exactly it. His face looks the exact same in that image as he does here. Because you can't really go back and like... I don't know how you would do that. Honestly. I think this is exactly how you're going to get him. Yeah. I would say a bad cast. I mean, okay, let me... To be honest, it doesn't look nearly... You could say it was a bad cast. It probably does look worse unpainted. Because all of his definition... Hang on. Even if I zoom in, you can't see it. Like, this needs to be cleaned up. But if you look at the video, his head is very... Just Gyazo it. I don't even have Gyazo anymore. What the fuck? Let me just get a snipping tool. Do you think his head is any bigger in that image? Because I don't think it is. To me, his head is the exact same shape. Like, I genuinely don't think you're getting something different. It looks skinnier? I don't think so. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. It's pretty hard to figure... Like, even the people who painted this, look. Like, I guess that works with how fucked up his teeth are, but half of those things in his mouth are just bits of metal left over. So, have fun. Hey, we'll see. Maybe I'll pick it up and be, like, comparing it to the originals that were cast 20 years ago. But I guess we'll see. Side by side with yours, it looks scuffed. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe you'll suffer the same fate as me, and you'll get the old crusty dwarf. The British dwarf, lad. British dwarf. Okay. I need to clean so I can work on another gyrocopter. Because I do need 2 gyros, and I genuinely didn't like building the other one. Honestly, I didn't. But knowing that I need 2 of them, it might be wise to just build it and deal with it. But I also need to build potentially a Rune Lord. which is this guy right here, because he needs to go. I don't want to put. So the idea of this. The idea of this thing is covered in God knows what. Sprues. He's got a really great pose for the anvil, not to mention for where I'm putting it. It's awesome. So he's supposed to look like this. Like he's just hammered out a rune and, you know, it's blazing with power. And what do you know? The Anvil of Doom is going to be sitting on top of a hill. So you've got the anvil here. You got this thing here. And he's essentially going to be standing behind it with the rune raised up like it's casted. And that's on top of a hill. That would look sick. Because I don't think I want to use Thoric Ironbrow. If I'm making an army of, like, people from Karazakarak, Thoric Ironbrow, nah, I mean, he could be there looking for some heirlooms, you know? Like, I'm here to join you guys because we've got some serious shit going down and I want to find some relics. That could be a thing, but I think I'm more inclined to use just a generic-bodied Rune Lord. One hell of a project. Ornn? I mean, it's a pretty normal project to get something like this done. The anvil's going to be purchasable again, so I think everyone's going to be buying it up. And if everyone's going to be buying it up, they're going to be using him. And I don't want it to be the exact same, you know? So. Anyways, what time is it? 9:20. Do I get started on something else? I could. I think what I'll do is actually start on the gyrocopter, knowing that it's going to be built. 100% guaranteed. So let me try and clean this up. I've got Ungrim, yeah. The old puny stubby Ungrim, yep. I've got just about all of the middle hammered minis and then all of the named characters. Is he really? That's funny. I have not gamed in a while, but we will soon because we're going to be there for about 2 weeks or so. All right. Karak Kadrin. Okay. Well, having built a gyrocopter, I kind of know what misery awaits me. Because there will be misery awaiting me for sure. Sometimes making an army isn't all enjoyable. There's certain things that are very, very unfun to do. Certain kits are a little bit janky. It's not that the gyrocopter kit sucks, it's that it's just very repetitive and tedious to get all of the blades done. And that's kind of its biggest problem because, like, you've got big flat surfaces that are fun, but for the most part, it's a little rough. This is also part of the engine. Think that's the engine. Yep, that's the engine. Pilot, I suppose, as well. Free-for-all campaigns, I've looked into them a bit more. They seem really fun, but I'm so stuck playing multiplayer that, like, me trying to do anything campaign-related would be a little bit tedious for my liking. Let's give this guy what helmet? This one. I used to think when it came to like free-for-all campaigns that each turn would take a century, and I was pleasantly surprised when it didn't, having seen a few now. But like, it is so insane with the amount of bullshit that goes on, all of the buffs and everything. Leave this for now. You 100% need people with good connections? Yeah. So good luck. Good luck. Which, in today's times, I feel like a lot of people actually do have good connections, but every single person in the game, not to mention every single person in the game, probably needs to be from around the same area. You know, if you're playing with people from, like, across the pond or something, it's not going to go too well. I guess that's just how that works out sometimes. US to EU is not too bad. I've ran into a few people from Europe, and my God, maybe it's just their connection, maybe it's mine, but holy moly. Holy moly. I did not yet, no. My monitor keeps, like, breaking. What the fuck? No, stop, you piece of shit. Soon enough, when I can get situated and clear out some more stuff, we will upgrade the camera to actually something good. Because we did get paid to do so. We got a big donation to get a nice camera. So that's what we want to do. After July, slow but sure, things will come to fruition. Chromo, yo, buddy. Hello, sir. I mean, you got banned. I wasn't aware of who's banned and who isn't. I'm not gonna lie. Bum 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 bum. Well, time to get to work. Same kit, different day. Thankfully, only 2 gyrocopters and no more. Because building a gyrocopter is like eating a salad. When instead you can have a Big Mac. How unpleasant. I was working on metal minis earlier. I was doing a bunch of 2003 Kazad Guard. So actually, I've got pretty recent thoughts on that, because that shit's a nightmare. So working on metal. Oh, my monitor went off again. Oh, it went off again. What the fuck is wrong with this thing? One sec. Let me try and fix my monitor. What the fuck? Why is this not working? All right, well, weird, but like If it works, it works. So working with metal minis, you just have to be a little bit more aggressive, I suppose, with like how you clean them. Uh, lower grit sandpaper typically is really good. What I was using was like 800 to 1,000. Typically on plastics, I'll use 1,000 and nothing higher, nothing lower. That's basically it for that. And then for metals, I hit it with like maybe 800. You could probably drop it down to something like, I don't know, 6, a little bit more, 7 maybe. I think they're supposed to go up in 2s though, so 6 would be your next best bet. Coupled with that, a knife. And the biggest problem is that a lot of the surface of metal minis tend to be very lumpy and uneven. So most of what I'm doing when I'm cleaning things up is not only going after pieces that shouldn't be there, but I'm also trying to smooth out flat surfaces because they're not as flat as they should be. So I don't mind it. I've cleaned up 3 recently. You can see they're kind of like polished in certain areas just because I've worked at it so much. But they're not that bad. You have to just be a little bit more aggressive and patient if you really want them to come out good. It's not easy like plastic where you just scrape it once and it's done. You typically have to go back and like give it a few run-throughs. Getting a Big Mac, I think you're going to point to my Mac app to redeem a free one. I'm pretty sure we have that. I just haven't. I don't use the McDonald's app. I should probably not even eat McDonald's, period. It's no good for you. And actually, I guess the only other thing I've used on metal minis were actual files. So the Tamiya ones I found were all right. And that's really just it. Lower grit sandpaper, metal files, and a blade. And you can have them smooth. But I mean, with those apps, you've got so many different things. I'm pretty sure there's an app for like every fucking fast food joint ever. My dog would be fighting you to eat it. Oh my god, that's what my dog would do. My Mochi. He's a fiend, but we love him. I miss Mochi. I heard the Milk-Bone treats for dogs is the equivalent to McDonald's fries. Is it really? Because we give Mochi some of those. Oh no, my boy's fat. He's fatter than me. Stinkier than me. Really? Wow. Okay, I guess we won't be using those anymore. I want my dog to outlive me. Jesus. I gotta remember I'm not working on metal minis, so I don't need to, like, gash this thing. I think I'm gonna go in about 5 minutes, though. Yeah, you're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I gotta go play League. I'm gonna have dinner and then get on League for a little bit. I've kind of been here way too long, to be honest. I've been here for what, fucking 3 hours. Quinn Plank, peace, buddy. Went in Total War. Genuinely, ideally, not anytime soon, but after June 1st, Total War. Because for me, this is my Total War. The war on Grey. Like, I will be playing multiplayer again, but if I'm here, which I will be here after, like, July, most of what I want to do is just miniatures, considering Total War is kind of like what you do when you don't have miniatures. So, I could do both. I could literally, on the same PC, play Total War and then switch over to this scene and just hobby. I could do that. It's just most of what I want to do here is definitely finishing an army. It's been many, many years since I've been able to do this hobby, and boy do I miss it. Boy do I miss it. The good old days of Warhammer when I was young. Building and painting things in a weekend like it was nothing. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. It's certainly a different experience from playing games, and it's definitely not for everyone, considering Warhammer as a hobby is still kind of like a niche. But it's cool. Some things don't need to be too exciting for you to enjoy them. Sometimes it's the thought of finishing everything that's the most exciting. Like finishing this mold line so I can go eat my dinner. Yeah, I mean, that's what Warhammer streams typically are. They're nothing but, like, hangouts. Like, this isn't peak content, oh my god, thrilling, edge of my seat, holy shit, he's scraping a mold line. This is just more of a, you know, come hang out, talk, do Warhammer in the background, like, whatever it may be. Takes a bit of brain power. Real dwarf fans only need huge ass log. I mean, beer is a way of life for dwarves. It can be considered food. Could watch at 3 a.m. while doing paperwork. Yeah. For me, it's only about 9. I'm going to go in about 4 minutes, actually. What am I saying? I have to go. I can't keep putting this off. I need dinner and I need League. I can't keep putting things off. All right, folks, I'm going to go. Lots to do when I come back here eventually. I should be able to stream tomorrow sometime. Don't go! Well, I'm going to go play League. I'm going to go heat up my dinner, eat really quickly, and then come back to League. With that being said, everyone, I'm out of here. Peace, peace. Be well. Stay safe. Have a great night. I will catch you the next time I'm around, or I will see you in about 20 minutes on the main channel. All right, so peace, everyone. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Peace, everyone. Peace, peace. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Peace, everyone. Bye. Peace.